Sports Editors are really grateful to have Mangaliso Mosehle with us today. I think you've had an exciting career and there's still lots more to come from you, I believe. So thank you so much for your time on the show. Really, really appreciate it. First question, my man, who introduced you to cricket?
Yeah, it was quite a strange one. I grew up in a township, Duduza, in the East Rand. So that's where I'm from. And I always used to tag along with my brother playing football. And myself and my uncle always used to watch cricket, but I actually never really knew what it was, So we always used to watch like Test cricket. And they introduced Baker's mini cricket then at my primary school then back in the day. And I wanted to try something different because playing soccer was just a thing growing up in the township. So when they introduced something different, I wanted to try it out. And I've obviously been watching cricket growing up with my uncle. And I just fell in love with the game from the first time I played.
No, excellent, excellent. Because you made your professional career with Easterns, from then till now. Has it sort of been quite a revelation for you to see, where cricket's taken you and what it's done for you?
Yeah, definitely. I've been grateful. Like I was saying to the guys, I never thought I'll be like the third oldest guy in the team. And I'm only like 30 years old. But it's been an absolute blessing, to be quite honest. It's been an absolute blessing, to have played for almost 12 years. It's been an absolute blessing. It's been full of ups and downs. But it's just been like a lot of life lessons learned as well in between. And I'm very grateful to have to be doing what I love doing, waking up and, having to spend time with my friends and being in the sun and going to play games, So I'm just really grateful for that.
No, cricket's a fantastic sport. But you're probably playing, I think, has to be the most important position in the field, a wicketkeeper. How did you decide to come across that? Or was it just a thing where you saw that and you thought, there we go. That's for me. I want to be a wicketkeeper.
Yeah, I think you're one of the few guys that actually recognize that the position is quite important. So what happened was, I've always had my Jack colors, so I always wanted to spend all around them. And just after I started playing, we got a bursary, me and a couple of my mates from the East Rand to go to a school in Mpumalanga where, we played there from 11 years old up until we finished primary school. So I used to bowl, and the one game, I bowled 8 wides in a game. So at the time, we always had like coaches empire the game, so I got banned from bowling, and we never really had a wicket keeper, so we always used to take turns, so you'll bowl and somebody will keep, so we always used to swap around. And I kept in a 6-a-side game with like a 6-a-side tournament, so I kept in that game, and there was a great man, late Solly Chota and Rusty Twala, which they've passed on now, so they suggested I should try keeping. And I tried keeping, and Rusty used to drill me every single practice, so we did keeping every single practice, and I loved it, and like both of those guys, I'm grateful because I don't think I would have made it as an all-rounder, but I'm glad that they showed me the light, and I started, I took on keeping, and I love wicket keeping.
No, that's excellent. Well, that's why cricket's so brilliant, because there's so much more to it, what people think. It's really, really good. But you also got selected for SA U19, and I know that it could be a bit of a tough period for you there, where you perhaps didn't get as much game time, but how did that experience mold you as a cricketer?
It was really great. It's like a very strange story because when I remember we went to a regional camp. Normally you go to a regional camp, then you go to a national camp, then they pick us at the 19 with Coquik and all those things. And like funny story is that like I met Ray when I was 11 years old. We had like one of the camps at Nigel, so we used to have camps. So he came as a speaker, and he was very intimidating, as he still is now. So he called me out of the blue. He's never seen me play or anything. So he said I must stand on top of the table, and he said this guy will play for South Africa one day.
Sure.
So I was like, So then years went by and then I was about 16. So I went to that camp, and at the time, I wasn't really sure if I should really like focus on school. Like I just wasn't really enjoying cricket at the time, and So, and I was just sitting around and it was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop being lazy, like go do something. So I put my pads on. I didn't really want to keep at the time, okay? You know, I was pursuing leg spin. So I put my pads on, and actually for the first time in like my whole life, I got a leg side stamping of a seamer. And he was watching, you know, and he was like, yeah, if you train, you will place in a 19. So I was like, there's no ways, there's way better players than me here, you know. So I trained with Uncle Solly Shorty at the time. So after school, like I'd take a train to Willem Park from the boarding house. And then I train with him now and then, like once or twice a week. And then I had like a good coke week that year. You know, I think I went the whole week without buys, and I got like 180 and 40 or something. So I had a really good. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll make like SA Colts at least, you know, like nothing beyond that, you know. So yeah, then I made SA Colts, and then they announced the SA U19 side, and I was in the squad, you know. So I was like, oh wow, you know. So what was good is that like obviously Ray did communicate with me. He said obviously I'll be there as a backup, will take me as just to get experience. I won't play as much, but obviously I won't have like another World Cup. But the following year, I will have my opportunity, which was 2009. You know, so yeah, the experience was unbelievable. I learned how to swim on that tour, actually. You know, so yeah, so it was a fantastic experience. Yeah, it was really good. One of my closest mates was my roommate there, and we're still friends till this day. You know, so it was a fantastic memories for me that I made that year.
That's exciting stuff, huh? Yeah, you see, cricket's brought the best out of you, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's nice when someone does sort of, you know, put their arm around you and say, right, come, let's do this. You know, because obviously there's times when you want to achieve certain things, but it's just nice when someone gives you a bit of direction and helps you move along. No, it's very, very good. Because in 2014, you represented SAA, and then in 2017, you made your debut for the Proteas. You know, but in that time, let's say between 2014 and 2017, do you feel it's important to sort of stay true to yourself and your goals?
Yeah, because I mean, like as I said, I had a fantastic year, 2009 from SA U19 at the academy. So in an ideal world, I thought I was going to play for South Africa when I was like 22. But obviously that didn't happen. And obviously I played SAA, so I was sort of like in and out the system. I played SA Emerging at the time as well. And then I went to Amsterdam in 2015 and 2016, where I met one of my pastors, actually fantastic, South African guy. They just started up a church, so I met up with him. And in 2016, he was like, I mean, what is your dream? So that was like the theme for the month, you know, that we were talking about, like just dreams and stuff. And so I was like, what is your dream? So I was like, yeah, well, when I was 15, I wanted to play for South Africa or whatever. But I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen, you know. And he was like, no, man, let's just you know, trust God and pray about it and trust God for that. So yeah, we did, but I was like, yeah, I mean, what are the chances? And there's like way better players than me, and you know, like I'm getting a little bit old. If they're going to invest in Wicketkeeper, then look at someone who's quite young. Quinton was doing well. I mean, he's a fantastic cricketer. So I was like, there's no ways. I mean, I'm gonna, you know, make it out of that guy, you know. But then, I mean, in 2016 was that. Then 2016, I was played that Springboks and Proteas game. So sort of at the time there was obviously like just like chats of like just being around the guys and being around the camp, and then in Jan I made my debut. You know? So yeah, it was such a fantastic story actually.
Yeah, it's really good. But it's nice that there's progress. You keep on moving up and up, which is very, very good. Yeah. But I'd say you must be delighted to get a Dolphins contract, because I'd say that squad is quite hungry for success. You must be happy to be in that type of environment now. The Dolphins are looking quite set and, you know, ready to have a good season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I moved to the Lions, I mean, I remember I spoke quite a bit with Lance during the time when I moved to the Lions. I really wanted to come to Durban. I've always liked Durban, to be quite honest. But I think at the time when I was like still like 25, 26, so the easiest thing was like just to stay around home and work with Jeff, which, I mean, he's been my coach since I started my professional career. But I've always wanted to be in Durban, you know. And then obviously I sort of like lost my contract in 2018. So I moved to Durban on a semi-pro to sort of like work my way up. But obviously I trained with the guys and I played with the guys. Yeah, to be part of what's been happening, like how the guys have been training, and I mean, just to have like a great start like that, and just being around the team, and just like when we always played against the Dolphins, we always thought like they were like very laid back, and if you put them under pressure, they'll crumble. But to see like the progress over the last year and a bit, and where they were when we played against them, and where they are now, or where we are as a team now, it's fantastic. There's like a lot of young guys who've been, playing good cricket at franchise levels, and the squad is solid, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be the Emmy and the selectors, to pick the squad every week, because there's so many good players,
Yeah.
So it's always great to be part of something great, so yeah, I'm really excited for the season, and it's been a great start for us.
Absolutely. But now in the squad, who's the best go-kart rider?
Yeah, all of those guys are dodgy.
Didn't you win, or did SA just beat you?
No, he like crashed on me, like almost lost my leg. My season was almost done before it even started. I think Cash was up there. He loves fast cars anyway, so that's his thing. So he is also like a dodgy driver though, because he loves his speed. I think Cash is probably. I'll give it to Cash. I'll give it to Cash.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we must have an exclusive go-karting race. The Dolphins,
definitely.
Like drivers' championship and all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. But Mangs, before you signed your contract with the Dolphins, you spent some time at the Cape Cobras. It must have been nice to also have a bit of a view of how that camp operates. And I'm sure you might have picked up one or two tips or techniques there that have improved your game.
Yeah, definitely. It was quite strange because I've almost played for every single franchise in the country. Yeah, it was. I think. I mean, I was obviously at like a very interesting time in my life at the time. So, and I think obviously, I mean, it was tough for me to get an opportunity because the team was doing quite well at the Dolphins. So, I mean, to get an opportunity to play franchise cricket again, when the offer came to go on loan to the Cobras, obviously, I mean, I took it, and I've been playing under Ashwell. I think he's a fantastic coach technically. He's helped me out with like a lot of stuff, and just mentally, and just the way he goes about things, I think he's really fantastic. So that sort of almost like gave me like an injection again, like just to, just keep going, and obviously, just to keep me hungry again. So it was always like good just to go somewhere else and get like a fresh perspective. So that's never the worst thing. So yeah, I enjoyed. I think I was there for about a week and a bit. I enjoyed my time there. Obviously, they were at a difficult time during the time, because obviously, I mean, they've lost like a lot of key players and they weren't playing as well. But it's always good to be part of a team like that, because you get to learn and you get to see how team operates when they're under pressure. Because sometimes when you win all the time, it's very hard to see growth, or hard to look for things to grow on. So yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of good things that were going on at that time, even though the team was losing. But I learned like a lot from Ashwell, just the team environment, and I never thought that I'd end up in Cape Town, but it's strange.
Terrible place. You don't want to. No, terrible place. But you, if I'm not mistaken, you also spent some time at KZN Inland, and that's a union that's doing a great job. I mean, they've won a lot of trophies. They're dominating. I'd say it's fair to say, because they seem to be doing well. I think Shane Berger put a lot of things in place there, and I think the roots are stuck there. They're growing. The union's growing. Do you enjoy your time there? Must have been quite nice to be part of that franchise, so to say, because they've got a strong winning culture, I'd say, there now.
Yeah, definitely. Like the place actually reminded me a lot of Easterns, in a way, because obviously that's where I grew up. And I think, what's nice about the team that we have is that we do not necessarily have like the most talented guys, but there's like a lot of like brotherhood. We play so well as a team. So if you chirp one guy, the whole team is going to come after you, so it's sort of the culture that we have, and some of the culture that I think was built obviously with Shane being there, and obviously with Yusuf being there now as coach as well, which is quite nice to play for. I think when you really, when you don't have like a bunch of superstars, it's actually like a good team to play for, because you always like strive to do well all the time, because you can't just sit and be complacent, or rely on the next guy. You have to do the job if it's your opportunity to do so. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time. I was with them now this past week. It was actually quite nice to be back with the guys as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a very, very exciting team. So yeah, we're looking forward to the season.
It'll be nice. Hopefully, I don't know. Excuse me. If the Africa T20 Cup is going to be up and running again, but I mean they did well in that competition, so it'll be nice to see if that one's up, because I think they'll do very well there. But is it fair to say T20 is your favorite format of the game?
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine actually asked me that. I was driving down with them with one of my teammates in Maritzburg. And it's quite strange, because like I always say that I prefer 4-day cricket over T20 is nice, because obviously there's like fans and there's power plays. It's very entertaining. I don't know, maybe it's because like I'm just an old school guy. I love Test cricket, I love 4-day cricket, and I think what I enjoy about 4-day cricket is just like the different phases of the game. Having to work hard for 4 days and winning the game on like day 4, like the last session after tea, and obviously just having to celebrate like all the tough work for 4 days after the day's play. I think for me, there's no substitute for that, so I do enjoy T20 cricket, but 4-day cricket for me is just, there's just like so much more meaning when you win. When you win a 4-day game, so you just get rewarded for the work we've done. Where in T20 cricket, anyone can win. It's a great game, I won't lie, but it doesn't really test you as a cricketer, in terms of just like mentally, because in 4-day cricket you go through phases where you need to defend, where you need to attack, where where you might need to bat before tea or after tea, after lunch, so those challenges for me, they're exciting. Or having to keep on a day 4 wicket where the ball is spinning, having like guys around the pad, like those things for me, they're very exciting. So I enjoy that about 4-day cricket.
No, it's true, and I'm glad that the season got off with, I'd say, quite a buzz. There were lots of scores, guys making runs, taking wickets. It was excellent. That's very, very good. But I just want to touch on the Mzansi Super League, and obviously you've played in there. Do you feel it's gaining momentum? And is it quite an essential part of the growth in cricket for South Africa, especially of sort of bleeding young players, getting them into, the big occasions and rubbing shoulders with experienced players?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at how India has always been a team that could compete, but you look at how they've grown over the years with like the IPL, and how many youngsters actually like breed into the Indian team with the IPL, being, playing with or having coaching staff with like Ricky Ponting, Sam Katich, and having Pollard there, Kieran Pollard, having Dale Steyn, Virat Kohli. As a youngster, you can only learn, and we've seen the fruits of guys like Yanaman coming through the system with like the MSL, because he's done well in the MSL and getting opportunities and doing quite well. And I think, a guy like Sasanda Makala as well, playing him, being one of the leading wicket takers, having to bowl with Wahab Riaz for the Cape Town Blitz, those things make a massive difference. And I think it's good for cricket in South Africa, because if you rub shoulders with those guys, you can only get better, and Dan Christian did, say that like it's in terms of like talent and just competitiveness of the league, it's actually quite up there with the leagues that he's actually played. So it's actually good to hear that from someone who's been around the world. So which means that in terms of talent and ability, South Africa is up there, in the world. So the MSL is a great initiative, and hopefully it can get going again.
No, I'm sure it will. I think it's very, very important. Very, very important. But I'd say your favorite shot is the inside-out shot, over extra cover.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
You've had quite a number of fixes in that area, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's no fielders there. There's fielders straight. There's no fielders there.
Is that a shot you worked on? Did you want to purposely be strong in there? Or again, has just been a natural thing where you can just step in and then inside out if it goes?
Yeah. I think, obviously, like being young, and obviously growing up, I was never really like a big guy growing up, so the type of strength of scoring boundaries was always either like a slog sweep or like using pace on the offside. So I was never really like a guy that hit straight a lot. So I sort of like developed that as well. So it's not something I really purposefully worked on. It's just something like, you know, I just grew up like doing naturally because I just felt that there's no fielders that can hit that space there, you know. So it's something that, I just never really thought of like working. Obviously now I do work on now and then, but it does come more naturally to me than the other shots.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, because I saw a few highlights of you, I think when you were playing for the Lions. Yeah, and you sent a couple of balls to the boundary with inside out. It was nice to see. Really, really nice to see. I just say you're playing in Durban, 4-day game, and it's a toss to win. Would you prefer setting a score or would you prefer chasing? Or is it too many variables to consider?
I think, well, right now you'd obviously want to bowl last. Because it is like it is quite dry and it's quite warm. So the wicket will spin quite a bit and it's still early season. So the wickets will spin quite a bit. So you obviously do want to set a score and actually like bowl last because there'll be like a little bit more turn, which will be in favor as we've seen the past game as well. That's exactly what happened, you know. So you do want to, or if you do bat, or if you do bat second, you want to like set like quite a big lead, you know. So you want to make sure that you're not batting last in that wicket. You know?
Interesting, very, very interesting. But I've also seen you do one or two things when you show your talent, and I want to know, when are you going to be featuring on Masterchef?
I'm not sure about Masterchef. I'm not sure about Masterchef. I'll try my best, but I'm not sure if I'll win. The effort will be there, but I'm not sure if I'll win.
Give it a go, man. You mustn't be scared. I think you'll be happily surprised.
Yeah. Sometimes you also have to be honest with yourself.
That's true. That's true. You know, going back, you mentioned Ray Jennings, and it's nice that he's had an influence in your life, and it's nice that there's great people we can look up to. But from a player's point of view, growing up, did you almost try and mold your game after someone, or was it just Ray who had the biggest influence on you that helped you pursue your cricket career?
I've always enjoyed good cricket, but obviously Ray is my mentor. I mean, even till this day, we speak quite often, at least once a month. He's been a fantastic guy in my life in terms of not only just cricket, but just like life. I mean, to be like, surprisingly, he's actually taught me more about life than actually about cricket. You know, he's generally speak more about life than we actually do about cricket, so which has been fantastic. I've enjoyed a lot of like West Indies cricketers. You know, obviously I never obviously had the opportunity to watch them back in the day because I was still young, but I do watch a lot of videos. I like Viv Richards. I love Gordon Greenidge. I enjoyed Desmond Haynes as well. And right now, at the moment, the batters that I like, I'm not sure if I'm molding my game around him, but I enjoy watching Bujara bat. He's actually surprisingly one of my favorite players. Virat Kohli is a genius. I enjoyed watching Virat Kohli. I enjoyed Brad Haddon as well. So I've got like a lot of different players that I actually like enjoy watching, to be quite honest. You know?
That's excellent. And I just want to get your thoughts on it, because you mentioned the West Indies, and I always found them a fascinating country to watch because they've got so much talent on offer, so much talent. But there seems to be just a draft towards 20 over cricket. But if they really put a lot of attention into Test cricket, they do so well. What do you think is the sort of factor where it makes them say, you know what, I'm just going to play 22 in cricket because I can make a career out of it. I can travel the world. But Test cricket is the ultimate. What do you think influences them to say, I'm just 22 in cricket? The really good players that they could actually be playing Test cricket.
Yeah, and I think, over the last couple of months, they've actually like competed nicely. They've done all right in England, so which they are like stepping in the right direction. And I think, just chatting. Obviously we had Dwayne. Dwayne was here for a bit, so I got to like chat to him about West Indies and all of this stuff. And obviously for them financially, it's not really beneficial for them to play Test cricket, and I mean, if they can make millions around the world playing T20 cricket, which is less time, they get to travel, so they might as well do that. And yeah, also, I mean, which I said, because obviously you do want to see those guys play, but also they do have families to look after, and obviously, you don't play cricket for your whole life, so you want to make the most out of the years that you're able to play. So I think that's just the thinking. What could be wrong, but yeah, I think for them it's just obviously just financially for them it's a massive step. But like I said, I mean, it would be nice to see them play Test cricket.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I've chatted to you guys. I'm just glad that cricket is happening again. I think it's brilliant. I think we lose our minds if we don't have sport to watch, especially cricket. So very, very grateful that it is up and running. But you're also quite good at another sport, golf. How's your swing going?
I'm not sure if I'm good. I'm on a sabbatical right now because it's been terrible. So I'm on a sabbatical. I started playing, I think, two years ago or so. It's like that and music. That's things that I do in like my downtime. So I enjoy golf. So I'm just on a sabbatical now. So I'm just watching a lot of golf videos. But yeah, I mean, I was actually quite keen to go on the course today. So maybe I'll go hit a few tomorrow and see if it's still there. But I haven't played for a while. But also we've been quite busy because obviously it's almost it is season time now. So it's actually quite tough to find the time. Also, you do want to rest up when you do get the opportunities, because the days do become long. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll have a swing tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, just as well you're not here in Cape Town, because you wouldn't have a chance. The wind is just going crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. You'll probably have to hit like a 7-iron for 90 meters.
It's ridiculous actually. Well, I just want to get sort of an idea, of how hectic your schedule is, if you don't mind. So obviously, just say you play a 4-day game, starts on Monday, ends on Thursday. Do you get the Friday off? Or are you guys back in the office on Friday, get ready for your next game? Do you get a day off? Do you get time to actually just chill a bit? Or is it quite hectic, just day after day after day after day?
So it'll be a 4-day game. Thursday you'll rest up, and then Friday maybe you'll have like recovery. Saturday it'll be a practice session again, and then Sunday, depending if you travel or you're at home, then it will be like optionals. So you'll normally on Sunday, day before game, you'll hit maybe you'll play like a game of football as a team, and then if you want to do skills, you will, or if you want to chill out, you'll chill out. So during Thursdays are off, Friday recovery, Saturday training, and then Sunday you just do what you need to do to be ready for the game.
And when you play those games of football, are you the goalkeeper?
Well, I've been goalie, but my nickname is Latan. I call myself Latan.
Striker. There we go.
So I operate in the midfield and I strike as well. I've got a mean foot on me.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean, it does become quite competitive because we actually played during the winter every Friday for 4 weeks, and then we put in like $50. So whoever wins the league actually wins. So it was actually quite competitive.
Don't tell me you're a Man United supporter.
No, Man City.
From bad to worse.
Man City.
I'm so it's quite an interesting dynamic. Doing those type of things to get into a team environment, making sure the guys are all focused, things like that. But I'm sure you guys also spend quite a bit of time, preparing mentally, knowing, who you're coming up against. We got the likes of the Titans, the Knights seem to be in a good nick. You guys spend quite a bit of time just preparing mentally, knowing what's coming up?
Yeah, we do, so we'll have, normally we've got like a sheet where to see the guys' dismissals, like where they get out most of the time, how many runs they score, where they score. So then obviously we prepare accordingly. So let's say, for an example, we're playing in Joburg, like the lengths the bowlers would bowl would be different to what you'd bowl in Durban. Your scoring options would also be different, and I think, mentally, I think everybody's quite different. But I think for me, I've made I've put like a lot of emphasis on like working on my mental side of the game from start of off season. So I've really worked hard on that, because I've always been a firm believer that if you train the brain, the body will follow, and I don't think it's it's a skill that we normally work hard on as sports people in general, because we always like trained physically, we always eat well, we always train our skills, but we never train our mind, so it's something I've put like a lot of emphasis on personally, so I don't know about the other guys, but for me, it's just been a thing that I've worked hard on over the winter.
Well, Mangs, I think you have worked hard and you must continue to do so. And I'm looking forward to seeing your name on the score sheet quite a few times and some stumpings and catches. It's going to be brilliant, my man. So keep working hard.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Mangs, it's been really nice to chat to you. Thank you for taking time to chat to us. And like I said, I know you guys are very busy and your schedules are hectic as we've heard. So thank you so much, Mangs. Thanks very much for chatting. Appreciate it.
No, thank you very much for having me, and it's an absolute pleasure. So I hope it's not the last time. So I look forward to the next one.
We'll definitely chat again, 100%. Yeah, I think it'll be a good one because the 2020 cricket's going to happen again, so we can definitely chat about that and see how things go there. Yeah.
No, definitely. Okay, then, man. Thank you very much again. Cheers. Keep on.